Hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first Aperitivo with Uniworld for 2026. My name is Tiffany. I'm a business development manager at Uniworld, and I'm very excited to be back in the new year talking about my favorite topic, which is travel. We're really thrilled to bring you this series again. We're going to be delving into specific themes and regions over the next couple of weeks. But what we thought we would do to kick things off is to give you a little bit of insight into the Uniworld difference and what makes Uniworld so unique and so different in the space of river cruising. And in my personal opinion, which can be a little bit biased, I'll admit, I think we're one of the best products out there on the rivers. So we are an all-inclusive boutique luxury river cruise line. We have been sailing since 1976. So it's actually, for those of you that have done some quick maths, it's our 50th anniversary this year, which is very exciting for all of us. We've got lots of things happening on board to celebrate. But what we really specialize in is immersive experiences both onshore and on board. So we want to immerse our guests in the destinations that they're sailing, and we do that through our onshore excursions and also through our ships and really immersing them in the destinations when they come back on board the ships. So we call our ships floating boutique hotels because that's really what they are like. They're all designed and inspired based on the destinations that they're sailing. We have 17 ships in our fleet at the moment. We've got 3 more coming next year in 2027. But each one of our ships is completely different. It's completely unique, and it's inspired based on the river that it is sailing. I wanted to share just a few of my favorites, and I really had to narrow this down for the sake of time, but I wanted to share 4 of my absolute favorites. The first on the top left there is the SS Joie de Vivre. So she sails the Seine from Paris to Normandy, and absolutely feels like you are eating dinner in the Moulin Rouge when you eat in our restaurant on board. We actually have a saying about this ship, and that is that the ship may leave Paris, but Paris never leaves the ship. Next to her on the right, we've got the SS Maria Theresa. She sails the Danube, and she's named after the 18th century Austrian Empress Maria Theresa, and absolutely feels like you are stepping back in time into a Baroque palace when you step on board. On the bottom left there and behind me, where I would rather be, is the São Gabriel. So she sails the Douro in Portugal. And something really wonderful about this ship is that every single one of the bathrooms on board has those beautiful Portuguese tiles, those little blue and yellow ones. So whenever you're on board, you will never ever forget that you're in the heart of Portugal. And finally, on the bottom right there, we've got the La Venezia, who sails the Venetian Lagoon and really brings those really rich Venetian interiors of places like the Doge's Palace onto the ship. So just a little glimpse of where we cruise. We're pretty much on all of the major rivers in the world. Europe is obviously our bread and butter, so we sail through Central Europe. We have lots of different itineraries ranging from 7 nights all the way up to 23 nights, and you can do different iterations anywhere between Amsterdam all the way through to Bucharest. In France, we've got 3 beautiful itineraries. They're all 7-night itineraries. One on the Seine that I mentioned earlier from Paris to Normandy. We sail the south of France from Arles to Lyon, and then we're also in Bordeaux. And if you really want to spend an extended amount of time in this region, we do offer combining those cruises for 2 or 3 week itineraries as well. We're in Portugal. The Douro is very, very popular for us. It's actually so popular that we are adding a second ship on the Douro next year, which will be very exciting. Something that's completely unique to us is our itinerary in Venice. I'm going to touch on it a little bit later on, but I just wanted to highlight that we are the only ship that's able to dock inside the Venetian Lagoon. So we have a very, very unique itinerary in that part of the world. We also offer some cruises outside of Europe as well. We call these our exotic locations. So we are on the Amazon in Peru. That's a very, very small expedition ship, just 16 suites. So it's very, very intimate. We are on the Mekong. So you can sail through Vietnam and Cambodia on the Mekong. We've got 2 ships on the Nile in Egypt. Egypt's another location for us that is so, so popular. We've had to put 2 ships on that river. And finally, we are on the Ganges in India. It's a beautiful itinerary on the Ganges. I'm not going to go into too much information on those because we will be covering them in the coming weeks in more depth. We pretty much have a cruise year round for all of you. So our European itineraries run from March to November. We've got Christmas itineraries in December that take over. And then our exotic locations, when we're in Egypt and when we're in Southeast Asia, we like to avoid the heat of summer. So we're taking advantage of those cooler months from September through till about April or May. And then Peru runs year round. So no matter when you want to travel, we will have an itinerary for you. Some of you may not have been on a river cruise before, and until I worked for Uniworld, I was actually in that group. So before I worked for Uniworld, I'd never been on a river cruise, and I tell you, hand on heart, I am converted. I love it. It's such a great way to explore a destination. It's really intimate. Some of you may have done ocean cruising before, where you feel like you're a tiny, tiny fish in a very, very big pond. On a river cruise, we have an average of 120 guests in Europe, so it's very intimate. It's even smaller in places like Peru and in Egypt and in Asia. The best thing I think about river cruising is the fact that you are docked in the heart of the towns and villages that you visit, and your hotel moves with you. So you get to unpack once, you still get to explore all of those places that you would on a normal itinerary if you were doing it on a tour or if you were doing it by yourself. But your hotel moves with you. So it's the convenience of only having to unpack once. The other thing I really love about river cruising with Uniworld is that it is completely all inclusive. So you don't have to think about anything when you're traveling. So from gratuities to premium drinks, all of your meals, you get a choice of shore excursions in every port. We're so all inclusive that we don't even ask you for a credit card when you step on board one of our ships. There is nothing to think of. Everything's carefully thought out and taken care of for you. I want to spend a couple of moments just talking about our onboard experience and what you can expect when you step on one of our ships. So each one of our ships, as I mentioned before, is completely unique. They're boutique hotels that are designed to immerse you in the destination. Every detail on the ship is curated and designed specifically for that ship, from custom furnishings to original art pieces. We actually have a collection of original artworks across our fleet, and I have a fantastic story of the first ship I was ever on with Uniworld. I was walking into the bar, as I do a lot, and I noticed there was a Picasso hanging in the entrance to the bar, an original Picasso, and I just had this moment of, wow, it's like being in a museum. So the ship itself is also a work of art. Everywhere you look, it's designed to surprise and delight you. We've got custom Murano chandeliers on a lot of our ships. You can see there on the SS Catherine, that's a life-size glass horse in the entrance. A lot of our pools have these beautiful hand-laid mosaic tiles. Everything is just awe-inspiring. And if you're anything like me, you'll just want to walk around touching everything on board the ships. Your staterooms as well will become your home away from home. So they are beautifully appointed. They've got handcrafted furnishings. They're so, so comfortable. Every single one of our staterooms have Savoy of England beds, which are the most comfortable beds I have ever slept in. You will have the best nights of sleep of your life. We've got marble bathrooms with Asprey amenities. And the best thing about the staterooms is that every single stateroom has a window view, so you can watch the world go by. Maybe you've got a cocktail in hand from the 24-hour room service, But with our dining options, you will not want to spend too much time drinking in your room because you want to be in some of these other venues. We take our food and wine very, very seriously at Uniworld, and that's important to me as well. I'm a Melbourne girl, so anyone else from Melbourne will know we take our food and wine very seriously too. And some of the best meals that I have been on board Uniworld ships. We continue our theme of destination immersion with local menus. So think croissants and cheeses when you're in France. You're going to have pasta in Italy, Portuguese tarts, of course, on the Douro. We really keep things local. So 80% of our produce will come from within 80 kilometres of where we're docked. And that extends to wines as well. So imagine you're sailing the Moselle River and drinking Riesling from the vines that you can see as you pass. And let me tell you, definitely be prepared to put on a few kilos while you are sailing with us. I know I did. Something that I really take a lot of pride in is our crew. So I am biased, I admit, but I truly, truly believe that we have the best crew on the rivers. We have a staff to guest ratio of 2.4 to 1, which is the highest in the industry. And they are so good at what they do. They know your name within a day. They remember your drink orders. The first time I ever went on one of our cruises, I ordered a dirty martini in the lounge on my first day. And the following day, when I walked into the lounge, they offered me the same drink again. They are so on top of things. I don't know how they do it. They really love what they do, and it reflects in their service as well. And I think a real piece of pride for us at Uniworld is the fact that so many of our crew have been with us for so long. They've been with us for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and it really becomes like a family. So something slightly personal and embarrassing for me is that every single one of our ships and itineraries that I've done when I have disembarked, I've cried because it's like saying goodbye to your family. The crew just take care of us so, so well. So we've spoken a little bit about what we can expect on board. Now I want to cover what we can expect on our onshore program. So we have spoken a little bit as well about luxury, which can be a little bit difficult because it means different things to different people. But for me personally, it's all about access. And that's what we deliver on with Uniworld. If we can give you a private VIP after hours experience somewhere, we will. So imagine seeing the major monuments in Europe or anywhere else in the world without the crowds. One of the best examples I can think of is on our Venetian itinerary. So this is a really wonderful 8-day itinerary that explores the whole Venetian lagoon. It's not 8 days in Venice itself, because that's probably about 5 days too many. But we get to explore all the little islands around the Venetian lagoon. We have a dock in Burano. We dock there overnight, which is where they have all those colorful houses with the lace making. We go as far down as Chioggia, you can go to Padua. So it's a really wonderful way to explore the whole Veneto region from the comfort of one hotel. But while we are in Venice itself, we get to explore the major monuments in true Uniworld style. So the next slide I'm going to show you is an example of what not to expect with Uniworld. These are just some images that I pulled off Google. Some of you may have been to Venice before. Some of you may have been to the Doge's Palace as well. If it's not Venice or those monuments specifically, I'm sure you've been somewhere else in Europe where you've been in a crowd of thousands, you've been shuffled around, you're trying to see the Mona Lisa, and there's just too many people between you and the artworks you're trying to look at. Well, on this itinerary, we actually visit the Doge's Palace before it's open to the public. At the very reasonable hour of 9 a.m., it's open just for us. And this is what we are treated to. So each and every room of the Doge's Palace, we wander and enjoy in privacy. We have the place to ourselves. So if, like me, you've been to Venice before, you will see it in a completely different light. And when you're done inside the Doge's Palace, you get to walk back out into St. Mark's Square, and you see all of the people there queuing to get into the palace and into St. Mark's Basilica. And let me tell you, at this point, you're feeling pretty smug. Then for the rest of the day, you can explore Venice at your leisure. When we're in Venice, we are docked in San Basilio. So you're within walking distance to all of the major attractions. The city is your oyster. And then that same evening, we head back into St. Mark's Square after it has closed to the public. We get to go into St. Mark's Basilica privately after hours. It's reopened again entirely for us. Our art historian does a special lighting ceremony of all the domes, and without all the crowds, you can actually see all the mosaics on the wall and under your feet as well. We absolutely love giving our guests these VIP private experiences. When you travel with Uniworld, you will be treated like a VIP everywhere you go. Something else that's really, really brilliant, I think, about river cruising is that you're not only seeing big major cities along the way, but you're also seeing a plethora of smaller villages that you otherwise might not go to. So these are small, more intimate, authentic representations of life in these regions. And everywhere that we dock, we are greeted with a local guide who is from the region and can really give us a behind the scenes look at these towns and life in the regions. One of my favorite examples of this is on our Burgundy and Provence itinerary. So this sails from Arles to Lyon, through the south of France, through the Rhone Valley, through wine region, and then all into provincial. You get to see all the little provincial French towns as well. One of those towns that we stop at is a little town called Viviers. So while we are in Viviers, we have a local guide named Frances. She actually has lived, or her family has lived there for hundreds of years. While we're there, our guests get to go inside her family home, the same home that they have owned for hundreds of years. They hid Jews there during the war. They've just got such a root in the town. And we have cheese and wine in her backyard, which you would not be able to do if you were doing this on your own. I think it's such a brilliant thing about doing an organized tour with somebody like Uniworld to give you access to these places that you couldn't get on your own and get a real look at the towns and the villages that we visit from the eyes of the locals. For the more active amongst us, we also have excursions that are more active as well. So you can go hiking if you would like through the Hermitage Vineyards. That is the only way you will ever see me hiking, is if there's wine involved at the end. You can go kayaking on the Gardon River under the Pont de Gard. We've got bikes on board that you can take out and use. Or if you're like me, you can enjoy some time on the ship in the lounge with a cocktail in hand. We also have plenty to do at night as well. So if we're not out in the city exploring things by night, if we're not, for example, at a private concert at the Rouen Cathedral, we're back on board. There's lots happening. We have local entertainment that comes on board. Think singers, dancers, all sorts of different things to keep us entertained. We have theme nights, we have silent discos. People get really, really into the silent disco, so it's very entertaining. And there's always a theme night. So for 2026, being our 50th anniversary, we're going to have a gold night, which is going to be very exciting. I can't wait to experience that. We also offer a range of specialty and themed cruises. So if you've got a special interest, chances are we've got a cruise for it. Our Generations collection is really geared towards families. In my opinion, you're never too young to river cruise. We've got special departures of some of our itineraries that are geared towards families with additional excursions and amenities that are designed to entertain kids and teens, and also the parents and the grandparents as well. We also offer our Jewish heritage program. So this is offered on select dates on some of our Rhine and Danube itineraries, and it explores the Jewish culture and history in Europe with special excursions to museums and memorials and synagogues, and a lot more as well. So for those two, you don't have to be a child or of Jewish heritage to enjoy those cruises. But for this next one, you do have to be a woman. So we launched our first ever women's only cruise last year in 2025. We took a group of women to the south of France, and it is backed by popular demand for 2027. But this time we're going to sail through Central Europe. So it's one date only. It's designed by women for women. It's the ultimate girls trip. So if you want to leave the husband at home and take your girlfriends and go and spend a week by yourselves, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. We offer golf cruises on some of our departures in Bordeaux as well. So if you're a golf enthusiast, I know we have a few of them on the call. We take you to two of the most premier courses in the region. You get to play 2 rounds of golf at each of these courses. If you are not geared towards golf like I am, don't worry, it's not compulsory. You can stay on board and enjoy a cocktail if you would prefer. We also offer a special couple of departures on our Enchanting Danube itinerary that really focuses on the music of the region. So we're calling it Music of the Danube, and it celebrates the musical traditions of that region, from classical music to folk to modern. You're thinking Mozart, Strauss. We even have a yodeling workshop as well if you're up for it. We offer cruise and rail itineraries as well. So we partner with Golden Eagle in Europe, and we also partner with the Maharajas Express in India to take you beyond the rivers in absolute style. We are going to go into a lot more depth on those cruises, the cruise and rail journeys on Thursday. So be sure to tune into that if you are a rail enthusiast. And speaking of going beyond the river, the number one comment that we get in our guest feedback is how much they would love to go to towns beyond the river. So we often get comments like, why can't I go to Madrid on my Douro River cruise? Well, it's because the river only goes so far and we can't dig it out any further. But we do have something very exciting that is going to be announced in a matter of weeks, but I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of it now. We are very excited to be introducing cruise and tour packages in 2027. So these are longer, more immersive journeys that combine the best of river cruising with really intimate, small group luxury touring. So finally, we can take you beyond the river. So you already know what you can expect on a Uniworld cruise. And we're going to bring that same level of service and luxury to the land portion of these itineraries as well. So it's going to be small groups, maximum of 24 people, magnificent stays at some of the best hotels in the world. These are slow-paced itineraries. We've got multi-night stays to allow you to fully explore a region. Fine dining at Michelin-starred restaurants. You'll have a personal tour concierge to guide you through the whole trip and to personalize your experience. And you'll have that same VIP curated experiences that you know and love with Uniworld. So that's coming in 2027. Keep an eye on your emails over the coming weeks as we launch that. So this has been the first of our Aperitivo series, and we would love to see you at the future sessions as well. So we're kicking it off on Thursday with Cruise and Rail. So we're going to have Jen and Megan from Golden Eagle taking you through our beautiful itineraries in Europe. And then in the following 2 weeks, we're going to deep dive into the regions that we cover. So we're going to go through Egypt, Asia, and Europe as well. So all that's left to decide for you is, where are you traveling? I hope that we've inspired you and we've got the ball rolling on those next holiday plans. And just know that wherever you travel with Uniworld, you will be so well looked after, and we can't wait to welcome you on board.